Alright guys, welcome back to Game 2 of the finals of the Displains Battle Road. On the left we got J-Wittz, who won the first game, and Dave on the right, who lost, so he gets to pick who goes first this game. Hopefully we'll see a little better one this time around. 'Cause the first one was just kind of Josh, and looks like Dave's showing us his hand, and he couldn't tell if it was horrible, but I saw a lot of shiny cards, and a Reshiram, so maybe not the greatest. We'll see how it goes, though. He does get to go first, which is a plus. He didn't even flip over his Reshiram. He was so upset. So he had 2 Ninetales, 2 Typhlosions, Junk Arm, something. Not a really very playable hand, unless he had a collector. Then it would have been nice. But Dave's obviously frustrated at this point. He lost the first game because of a bad hand. Second game, he's not starting off too well. So we'll see if he can overcome his nerves a little bit, think with a clear head, and maybe pull this game out. So we do have a... Oh, that's a lot of stuff. Cyndaquil, Vulpix, Fire on Reshiram, and looks like he might be done. So, alright, it's Josh's turn now. He's got to be a little confused by everything, probably just taking it all in, taking his time. You know, he did win the first game, so he's not in any hurry. So he starts off with a collector. That's a great start. Even if you're going second, you know, you want to get that collector out right away so you can grab 3 basics and really get moving through your deck. So I'm going to grab Magnemite, Cleffa, and it's behind door number 3, Magnemite. Okay. So 2 Magnemites and a Cleffa. So we'll see if he keeps the Cleffa in his hand for communication next turn, or if he actually has to use Eek this turn. That'll say a lot about what his hand's like. And it looks like he's putting it down, so we're going to see an Eek, I would assume. He's thinking about it. Looks like he's rearranging his Pokemon there. Yep, and we're going to see a retreat and an Eek. So here we go. Eek from Josh on the first turn. So neither player had the greatest hand in the world, but you can definitely draw into some good stuff off of an Eek. You know, you get a fresh hand of 6 cards. If you hit a rare candy and a Magnezone, you're set. However, he didn't attach an energy that turn, which is kind of important. Energy attachments are huge when you're playing any Magnezone deck, just because, obviously, the energy are what fuel Lost Burn. You need to have a bunch in play to do damage. So even something minor like a catcher on Magnemite can be annoying just because you have to pay the retreat cost, and then that's an energy you won't have later to use Lost Burn. So we'll see what Dave's hand is like this time around. You know, he played most of it the first time. He's got Kolava, Plus Power, and Oak's New Theory, so that's actually not a bad hand at all. You know, pretty strong. It's going to depend on what he draws with Oak's New Theory, obviously. But, hey, that's not bad. You know, if he gets a Ninetales here, or Communication for Ninetales, get a Roast Reveal, he'll be just fine. You know, even a Fire for Outrage, he'll take the first prize. That's big. So there we go. We got Outrage for 30 on Cleffa, and already Dave has taken the first prize. So, normally, you don't take the first prize with Typhlosion against Yanmega Magnezone. You know, if anything you can do to kind of bridge the gap, you know, make the early Yanmega onslaught less powerful, whenever you can do that, that's a huge boost to your overall game. You can see Josh just communication for a Magnezone, so he's going to have a turn 2 Magnezone this game. Kind of a perfect start that couldn't really ask for much more unless he has a Yanmega too. But anyway, what I was saying is, in this matchup, as the Typhlosion Reshiram player, you're just trying to like weather the storm early on. You don't want to give up too many prizes to Yanmega and Catcher before you set up. So taking that first prize is crucial because now he can let Josh, you know, take 2 prizes here with Yanmega maybe, and he'll still only be down 1. You know, he also has that Reshiram there. We do see a Junk Arm from Josh, so another Magnezone. I saw Dave shake his fist like, not again. So, looks like Josh is going to fully set up again this game. Seems like whenever he gets one Magnezone, a second one's not too far behind. And that's the case here again. So, even though Josh has such a good setup, Dave's going to be in a good spot as long as he stays calm and, as long as he eventually gets set up. He'll be with the blue flare for a prize this turn, and then if he gets a Typhlosion into play, gets another Cyndaquil down, eventually he needs to get those 2 Typhlosions in play. That is the critical part of playing Typhlosion. Once you get 2 into play, you can Afterburner twice and keep getting in that cycle of blue flare every turn. If you can get 1 in play, you're okay, but 2 is where you're feeling comfortable. You can power up a Reshiram every turn, and eventually you'll overpower your opponent. So we'll have to see if he can reach that setup. If he doesn't, Josh is going to win just because he's got everything at his disposal at this point. We do see a Cyndaquil, a Rescue, and a Collector from Dave, so it doesn't look like his hand was that good. He might fizzle out a little bit after this. But, in order to knock out this Reshiram, Josh is going to need Lightning with Pachirisu at least. And I don't know, that's what he's going to need. He's going to need to drop 2 energy down this turn to knock out this Reshiram. Otherwise, he's going to have to catch her for a knockout. That's his other option. Dave's still going to be ahead in prizes. His hand isn't great right now. But, he'll be ahead. He'll have some time to get that setup. He's not out of it, even though his hand is so poor. And it looks like, he's actually putting down the Cleffa and using Blue Flare. So that's not a terrible option. That gives Josh an easy play though. He'll linear attack Cleffa for a prize while putting an energy into play. And he'll be able to Lost Burn that Reshiram next turn. If Dave doesn't get a Typhlosion immediately, he's going to be in trouble. But let's see if Josh gets a Yanmega. That's step 1. Getting ahead of myself. And we do see a catcher actually. So, that's another bad part about the Cleffa. It stays there. Even though it has free retreat, which is nice, it gives you options. If your active gets knocked out, you can promote it, then decide what you want to retreat to, instead of having to commit right away. The downside is that it has 30 hit points, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon. It's always going to be a prize later for a linear attack, a catcher, or even Spray Splash from Kingdra. So it's just something you got to watch out for. And we do see Pachirisu as well. So, kind of weird that Josh would catcher a Cyndaquil and then drop Pachirisu. It's kind of risky. I'm not sure what he's doing here. In this situation, you would probably just want to knock out Quilava or Reshiram if you're gonna use Lost Burn. Ooh, kind of a misunderstanding there. Sorry. But anyway, if you're gonna drop down that Pachirisu with the 2 lightning, normally you have to do it right away. You have to get those energy off of your Pokemon. And if you're gonna waste a catcher, might as well go for that Quilava if you're gonna go for Cyndaquil. So that's a bit of a mistake, I think. You would either go for Quilava or just keep the Reshiram up there. No reason to catch your Cyndaquil. I guess he could hope to draw Sonic Boom, but there's no reason to leave the energy on Pachirisu in that case. So you have to commit to it. Alright, so I actually see Josh left the energy in his discard, not the Lost Zone. Nobody caught that, but I don't think it's going to matter. But we do see a Typhlosion out, so Dave's going to be in okay shape. Oh, there we go. Now somebody caught it. So those lightnings are going to go into the Lost Zone. You see a rare candy Typhlosion. Now, it's still dangerous territory because... oh, that's weird. Dave actually didn't use Afterburner. I was going to say it's dangerous territory because Typhlosion can get catchered. And if that's the case, you're stuck with no energy in play. You're stuck with a 2 retreat cost Typhlosion. active, and it's just going to be ugly. And this is actually a really big blunder by Dave. He didn't Afterburner to his Reshiram. Not sure why he didn't do that. Now this is an easy situation for Josh. He's just going to catch her out Typhlosion, Lost Burn for 150, eliminated Typhlosion from play, and I don't know where Dave goes from here. He's going to be down a prize. He's going to have that Cleffa in play forever. That's going to be a free prize. If he doesn't evolve both those Vulpixes, one of those is going to be a catcher prize for Yanmega, and it's just not looking good. You know, he kind of missed his window of opportunity there. I actually don't know if he should have eked there. He just got judged as well. The eke, actually, I don't have a problem with. What I have a problem with is not using Afterburner, because he needs to get an energy on the field. That's his whole concept of the deck. He's just so vulnerable to catcher at this point. You need to do that. And I think Dave might have realized it at this point, but you just have to stress. One little thing like that can change the game completely. One energy drop, that's going to totally impact the game. So we'll see if it ends up hurting Dave or not. Josh does need a catcher this turn. Let's not forget about that. That Cleffa is asleep. He's got to get around it. So if he doesn't draw a catcher off of this magnetic draw, who knows? This Cleffa could survive. Oh, and there we go. We see a pass. But Cleffa stays asleep, so... you know, kind of an uneventful turn, to be honest. That could have gone a lot worse than Dave than I thought. And a lot better for Josh than I thought. But looks like Dave kind of escapes that one. We'll see what happens. Drops 2+ powers and plays a Juniper for 7. It's interesting. You know, I don't know if you want to do that here unless you can, unless he plays a switch, then maybe he could do that. You know, you might just want to wait for something to get knocked out before you drop those 2+ powers. So that's going to be a way for you to knock out that Magnezone in one hit. It's going to be a way for you to take a big knockout. But instead, he just decides, I need to do this now. I need to get back in this game. I need to get set up. Take advantage of this turn I was given. And he's going to get that Ninetales, finally. Well, we've played a bunch of turns in 2 games, and we're finally getting a Ninetales. He's finally getting a Roast Reveal. He's going to try to draw into some good stuff. And let's see if he did. We still haven't seen him use Afterburner as well, which is, oh, he still didn't do it. See, this is an important concept in Pokemon. You need to Afterburner. You need to play energy on your Pokemon even when you're not attacking with them. You know, just build energy into play. Even though you're not attacking this turn, you can power your stuff up for later turns. You don't need to just attach the turn of. Even, I mean, with Magnezone, it's an obvious concept. You want as much energy in play as possible so you can Lost Burn for more and more damage. With other decks, it's not as obvious. You want to power up attackers even when you're not using them immediately. As we can see here, Dave missed 2 Afterburners in a row. Maybe he didn't want to damage his own Pokemon or something like that, but you gotta think he needs to use that Afterburner. He needs to get energy into play. If he doesn't, he's not going to be able to attack. He's not going to be able to keep up. So, I really don't understand why he didn't do it. I hate to be critical of players, especially in such high-pressure situations, but here you definitely need to use that Afterburner. There's no excuse for not putting energy into play, and I think it's really going to come back to hurt him here. You know, if a Typhlosion gets catchered and knocked out, he's going to be in a world of hurt. And here's a catcher, but looks like Josh is actually going for Ninetales. Maybe he's conserving the energy. He only wants to Lost Zone 2 instead of 3, maybe. So, once again, not using Afterburner might not hurt Dave as much as it could have, but still something he should have been doing. So, here we're going to see a Lost Burn, I assume, for 100. You know, that Cleffa's been pesky. He couldn't knock it out last turn because he was asleep. And we actually see him Lost Zone the energy off of his benched Magnezone, which is kind of risky, you know. You saw Dave play 2+ powers, but it depends on how many junk arms he's used. You don't know how many plus powers he actually uses in his deck, I guess. But, you know, a double plus power on Reshiram, that could completely wipe out that Magnezone, wipe out 2 energy, and then what? Where does Josh go from there? You know, his big attacker is gone. So, kind of a risk Josh took here by removing the energy off the active. Maybe he got a read on Dave and saw there's just nothing he had that could knock him out. Maybe Dave said something that tipped him off. But either way, that's kind of a risk, leaving those 2 energy on that active. So, doesn't look like he'll get punished for it though. So this looks like the game where risks do not go unpunished, or risks go unpunished. People are getting away with all sorts of stuff in this game. So, we see Reshiram go active. He's going to be able to Afterburner twice and get a blue flare off this turn. But if he had those 2+ powers and didn't catch her, the Magnezone, it would have been a lot different. But here, we're going to Afterburner twice onto Reshiram and blue flare for 120. I sort of have a problem with this. You know, there's no reason to use blue flare there, to be honest. What you're doing here is something you might not notice right away, but you're gonna feel silly if it happens. When you Afterburner twice onto Reshiram, and if Josh gets that Kingdra Prime into play, he's gonna be able to Spray Splash your active Reshiram for 10, and then Lost Burn for just 100 to knock you out. Now the difference between having to Lost Zone 2 and 3 energy is game breaking. It's just so important I can't even describe it. So we might see a rare candy Kingdra, and then you know he switches to the other Magnezone, and then Lost Burns for 100 plus 10 for the Spray Splash, and gets a knockout for cheaper than what he should have got. If you just simply Outrage, see here's a switch. If you just would have Outraged for 30 and then use Blue Flare, kind of a minimal difference, because either way Magnezone gets knocked out by a Reshiram next time. In that case, you don't get knocked out by this annoying Spray Splash, Lost Burn for 100, you're forcing him to Lost Burn 3 energy. And then if he doesn't pay attention to your active Reshiram, you simply attach a fire and you Blue Flare. So, you know, once again, like I said, it's a game of risks. We'll see if anybody gets punished for them yet. Nobody's get punished yet. Both players have taken some risks and gotten away with it. And we do see a junk arm though. This could mean that rare candy Kingdra's coming out, but it looks like a catcher. So, all of my assumptions have been wrong so far. Let's see what we do here. We'll see a catcher. It'll probably be Vulpix, just because that's the easiest target. Clef is going to be a project, and then that's just going to mean 1 Lost Burn. That's going to be the game. So, we saw Josh got back to catcher. He's thinking about it. Where does he go from here? He's going to Magnetic Draw. And I'm sure he would love to get that Kingdra out this turn. That would kind of seal the game for him, just because he could Spray Splash that Cleffa eventually. But we have a catcher for Vulpix. Yep, I think that's going to be the best route to victory here. But it doesn't look like he can even the hand sizes, which is kind of strange. And we see a Lost Burn for 100, knocking out Vulpix. So, I guess Josh couldn't even the hand sizes, so this game is not going as I predicted. Obviously, I'm not always right. Sometimes it can be tough, because I'm not actually sitting there playing. I don't have all the information. I don't know what's in his hand, so I'm just predicting what could happen, but it doesn't look like Josh had enough to match the hand size, and then Sonic Boom for a knockout. He had to burn 2 more energy, so Dave is still alive. You know, if this Magnezone gets knocked out this turn, I could see Josh losing fairly easily. You know, he just won't be able to take that last prize. So, we'll have to see if Dave can pull off a miracle knockout on this Magnezone. If not, his best bet's going to be to Flare Destroy it, discard the Lightning, leaving Josh with no energy in play. If he does have 2+ powers, that'll be phenomenal. That'll really turn around the game. However, it doesn't look like he has it. His hand's kind of small. He did burn through those 2+ powers earlier. He burned through a couple junk arms, so he might not have it. With the rise of trainer lock decks like Gothitelle and Ross's Vileplume Reuniclus deck, maybe Typhlosion decks have cut back on plus powers. It could be a scenario. Magnezone's not that popular anymore, with Zekrom being so strong. Maybe lists have changed. I know before, lists ran like 3 or 4+ powers and 4 junk arms just to knock out those Magnezones in one hit. But that's not the case anymore, apparently. Now, we do see Dave did something strange. He catchered out the Yanmega and blue flared it for a knockout. I don't really agree with this. The Yanmega's not too big of a threat. He's going to be able to get another one into play, no problem, I think. And I'd probably just be content to knock out or discard the energy from the Magnezone, preventing a lost burn. I think Josh has burned through quite a few junk arms at this point. He played a switch already, so he probably didn't have a way to switch the Magnezone out. He would buy a turn to Flare Destroy, knock out the energy off of the Magnezone, and the next turn knock out the Magnezone. But looks like he's leaving the energy in play, which is going to be bad. It's going to let Josh get a lost burn here for a knockout. Now he's got that Kingdra, so Dave's in a lot of trouble. This Spray Splash is going to knock out Cleffa eventually, unless Dave can catch her out Kingdra. Plus power, knockout. But that's going to be tough. He's burned through a lot of resources already. So Dave is effectively on a 2-turn clock. Can he knock out the Kingdra in 2 turns? If not, Cleffa's going to get splashed to death, and that's going to be the game. So we're going to see, does Dave have the cards to knock out the Kingdra? Even if he does, Josh could always have catcher. He could get another Yanmega into play. It's going to be tough. It's going to be really down to the wire. It's going to really just come down to that Kingdra. Is it possible for Dave to knock out the Kingdra in time? If not, there's nothing he can do. It's just Cleffa's going to get knocked out. It's all he's got. So here we're going to see him set up Typhlosion, put 20 on it with Afterburner. And we're just going to see a Flare Destroy, apparently. Not sure why he's doing that instead of attacking with Reshiram, but that's the spot we're in. Josh is going to get another Spray Splash off. Cleffa's that big target. Dave's really getting punished for that small mistake of benching Cleffa all those turns ago. Like I said, it never leaves your field. It's always going to be there to be knocked out at the end of the game. It's just a cheap prize to knock out. It's so easy to get knocked out, so it's always a risk to bench a Cleffa when you don't have to. And now we're going to see, does Dave have the cards? Can he catch her out Kingdra, plus power, and blue flare for a knockout? Or is there nothing he can do about it? So it's coming down to the wire here. This is Dave's last shot. Can he survive? Can he do it? Here we are. This is your chance, Dave. Show us what you got. He's taking a while checking through his discards, so he might have a junk arm. Let's see. Suspense is killing me. Yeah, it looks like he will play a junk arm. Will play a junk arm. Will play a junk arm. Alright, that's a fire. That's not a junk arm. Okay, he just used Flare Destroy. Never mind, he tricked me. So that's going to be it. We're going to see Spray Splash for a win. And that's a bummer to lose like that, but hey. He definitely had his shot at the game. You can see there's a catcher still in the deck. That little mistake, benching Cleffa right away, that ended up costing him the game. You don't know, maybe Josh still had the win anyway, but it definitely would have been a completely different game if Cleffa were not on the bench. So, just have to say that Dave's only been playing a little while. He just came back last year, so impressive to be in the finals of a Battle Road, especially with so many good players at this event. You know, he's probably nervous. He hasn't really been in too many tournaments, so nerves are definitely a factor when you're getting there for the first time. And that's what these Battle Roads are good for. Get you some experience. Play against, you know, most of the time you don't play against top players of Battle Roads, but with the new championship point system, he's playing against a world's level competitor like Josh. He's getting some good experience. You know, he didn't win, but there's a close match. Maybe he'll learn from it and move on. So, thanks for watching. It was a fairly good series. Josh, J-Wittz, Wittenkeller gets the victory here, so congratulations to him. You always know he has his YouTube channel. If you don't know about it, where have you been? How are you watching our channel and not watching him? That's J-Wittz. So check him out, definitely. Other than that, if you got any feedback or comments, leave them down in the comments section. Any suggestions? We got our screen here. So there's plenty of ways to contact us. We're always open for suggestions, stuff like that. So thanks again for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I got some more videos lined up for you. And you guys take care. I'll see you next time.